It's funny how a single night can split your life into a before and an after. Graduation night was that for me, a swirl of flashing cameras, sticky auditorium seats, and the kind of laughter that sounds like both celebration and goodbye. My chest was buzzing with this cocktail of excitement and dread, because I knew everything was about to change. My best friend Sam and I had spent 4 years glued at the hip, inside jokes whispered in the back row, 1,000 text threads, secrets scribbled on notebook corners. That night, everyone else was hugging, shouting, tossing mortarboards. Sam found me in the chaos, eyes shining but face a little tight around the edges. "Hey, come here," Sam said, tugging me by the sleeve away from the crowd. We slipped outside, where the air was thick with June humidity and the distant thump of music from someone's trunk. Sam was holding something, a box, gift-wrapped in silver paper, the corners a little squashed. I remember the way my fingers tingled when Sam pressed it into my hands. "Don't open it yet," Sam said, voice low. "Promise me you'll wait until you get to college." I frowned, feeling the box's weight, too light to be clothes, too heavy to be a letter. "Why? Are you serious?" Sam smiled, but it was shaky, nothing like the grin I knew from 1,000 sleepovers. "Just, promise?" I shrugged. "Okay, I promise." Sam exhaled, some tension dropping from their shoulders. We stood there, not talking, just listening to the cicadas and the distant whoops from the gym. For a second, I thought Sam might say something huge, some last confession before we both left town. But instead, Sam just squeezed my hand, grinned, and said, "You're gonna love college." I held the box all night. Through the pizza at midnight, the blurry selfies, the last walk through our empty school halls. It sat at my feet while we crashed at my place, half asleep on the living room carpet, TV flickering blue and white. I remember tracing my thumb over the wrap, wondering if it was a joke, or a dare, or something I'd never expect. The next morning, I woke up with a headache and a mouth like sandpaper. Sunlight spilled across the living room, catching on empty soda cans and crumpled napkins. The box was gone. I sat up fast, heart suddenly pounding. I searched under pillows, behind the couch, even checked the fridge, nothing. I asked everyone, my sister, my mom, the 3 friends who'd crashed on the floor. Nobody had seen it. Sam was already gone when I called. "Hey, did you take the box back?" I asked, trying to sound casual. There was a pause on the other end. "What box?" Sam said, way too quickly. "The graduation gift. The one you gave me last night." "Oh, I don't know. Maybe someone moved it." Sam's voice was tight, and then, "I gotta go, my parents are making me pack." "Talk soon?" But we didn't talk soon. We texted a little that summer, but it was never the same. College swept us both into new lives, new friends, new cities. Every time I thought about asking Sam, something in me hesitated. Maybe I was scared of sounding desperate. Maybe I didn't want to admit how much that missing box bugged me. Over time, the memory faded, like a dream that gets grainier every time you replay it. Still, every now and then, I'd think about that night, the silver paper, the promise I made, and the way Sam looked at me under the streetlight, like there was something huge they wanted to say but couldn't. And I never once guessed that the box would find its way back to me, years later, let alone that it would blow up everything I thought I knew about my best friend. If you've ever lost touch with someone who used to feel like your entire world, you know how it seeps in slowly, the distance, the silence. After high school, Sam and I made big, optimistic promises to stay close. We swore we'd FaceTime every week, visit on breaks, keep our inside jokes alive even as we moved hours apart for college. But life crept in, quietly, between classes and new friends and late-night study sessions. And always, under the surface, there was the thing neither of us talked about, the missing gift. It started subtly. The first semester, we texted constantly, our phones buzzing with memes and "you won't believe what happened" messages. But after a while, my replies lagged. Sam's did too. I'd see a photo of them at a party with new friends, and I'd wonder how much I still fit into their world. Calls would go unanswered, or we'd talk and it felt like dancing around something invisible. I could feel the silence growing, like a bruise under the skin. One weekend, Sam visited my campus. It was supposed to be fun, our great reunion, just like old times. But we wandered the quad, making awkward small talk. When I brought up graduation, Sam's eyes flickered away. "Wild night," they said, trying to laugh it off, but their voice was tight. I almost asked about the gift. I didn't. The tension hung between us, sticky and electric, like the air before a summer storm. After that, we drifted. Our calls got shorter. Birthdays turned into quick texts. I convinced myself it was normal, that we were just busy. But sometimes, late at night, I'd wonder why I'd never just asked, "Hey, what happened to that box? Why did it matter so much? Why did it feel like unfinished business, that thing I couldn't let go?" The years rolled on. College blurred by. New faces, new routines. But every so often, I'd remember Sam's face in the glow of streetlights that graduation night, the way they'd pressed that box into my hands and begged, "Don't open it until you're in college, okay? Promise me." I'd remember the way their hands shook, how I'd stuffed the box in my backpack, and how, by midnight, it was just gone. Then, yesterday, everything changed. I came home from class, juggling my keys and a bag of groceries, already annoyed at the world. That's when I saw it, propped against my apartment door. A box, wrapped in faded blue paper, corners battered and soft. My heart skipped. I dropped the keys, groceries thunking to the floor, milk nearly tipping over. I crouched down, staring at it. It couldn't be. But it was. The same size, the same awkward wrapping, like someone had tried to make it nice but didn't quite know how. My hand shook as I picked it up. It was heavier than I remembered, solid, almost humming with weight. The tape was yellowed, peeling at the edges, and there was a sticker half torn away from one corner, like it had been through a lot. And on top, a note. Folded, tucked under the ribbon. My name in Sam's handwriting, careful, looping letters I'd recognize anywhere, even after all this time. The scent of old paper and a faint trace of Sam's perfume, something citrusy and sharp, hit me. The world narrowed to just me and this box, my breath echoing in my ears. I carried it inside, heart hammering, and set it on my desk. The apartment was silent, except for the low hum of my mini fridge and the distant thump of my upstairs neighbor's music. I stared at the box. My palms felt clammy. My mind spun. There was the note. I slid it free, hands trembling. My voice sounded strange in the tiny kitchen as I read it aloud. "If you're reading this, I guess it finally found you. I'm sorry it took so long. I hope you're ready to know what was inside. I hope you're okay. Sam." That was it. No explanation, no apology, just those few lines. I read it again, searching for hidden meaning. My stomach twisted. Was this some kind of joke? Why now, after all these years? Why not a call, or a text, or anything but this? I sat on the edge of my bed, the box between my knees, and tried to steady my breathing. My fingers traced the creases in the paper, the places where it had been folded and refolded. I thought about calling Sam, but we hadn't spoken in months. Would they even answer? Would opening the box betray some last thread between us, or was this my only shot at closure? I stared at my phone, thumb hovering over Sam's name. No new messages. Just the same silence that had grown between us for years. I set the phone aside. The box waited, patient and inscrutable. I wanted to open it, I needed to. But I was afraid. Not of what was inside, exactly, but of what it might mean. What if it was something I'd forgotten, some secret I'd buried? What if it changed the story of our friendship in ways I couldn't fix? My hand shook. I pressed my forehead to the cool surface of the box, breathing in the scent of old cardboard and faded perfume. The room felt smaller, the air thick. I flashed back to graduation night, the way the world had felt huge and uncertain, the sky streaked with the last glow of sunset, everyone shouting and hugging and crying. The memory hit me like a wave. I was standing outside the gym, cap crooked, clutching my diploma. Sam found me in the dark, eyes shining with unshed tears. They pressed the box into my hands. "Promise me you won't open it until you're in college?" Sam whispered. Their voice was hoarse, desperate. "Why? What is it?" I asked, laughing, trying to make it light. "Just, promise." I nodded, tucking it into my backpack. Sam grabbed my arm, fingers digging in. "I mean it," they said. "You have to wait. You have to trust me." I frowned. "Sam, what's going on? Are you okay?" They hesitated. I need you to know something. But I can't say it yet." Their eyes darted away, jaw clenched. "Everything's about to change," they whispered, more to themselves than to me. I wanted to push, to demand answers. But the noise of the crowd swelled, someone called my name, and just like that, the moment broke. Sam let go. I shoved the box deeper into my bag, promising myself I'd ask later. But I never did. That night, after the parties, I got home and emptied my bag. The box was gone. I tore through my clothes, the bed, the car. Nothing. My heart pounded as I texted Sam, "Did you take the box back?" No reply. The next morning, Sam acted like nothing happened, like the box never existed. I tried to joke about it, but Sam just smiled, thin and strained. "Guess it wasn't meant to be," they said, voice flat. After that, we both pretended it didn't matter. But I never stopped wondering. What had Sam wanted to tell me? What secret was worth hiding in a box, then hiding the box itself? Why did it feel like the end of something, instead of a new beginning? Back in my apartment, the box sat between us, heavy with the weight of 4 years' silence. I stared at it, torn between fear and hope. Was this my chance to finally understand? Or was it better to let sleeping secrets lie? My phone buzzed, jolting me from my thoughts. For a split second, I hoped it was Sam. It was just a school notification. The silence pressed in again, electric and alive. I glanced at the clock. I'd been sitting here nearly an hour. My chest ached. I thought about all the times I'd almost called Sam, all the texts I'd written and deleted. I thought about that last night, Sam's face in the dark, the words they couldn't say. What if the box held everything we never said? What if opening it was the only way forward? I ran my fingers along the seam, feeling the rough patch where the tape had split. My breath came fast and shallow. The world felt suspended, like the moment before a storm breaks. I closed my eyes, remembering the weight of Sam's hand on my arm, the tremble in their voice. Everything's about to change. And maybe, after all these years, it finally had. But first, I needed to decide, open the box, or let the past stay buried. My heart pounded as I reached for the ribbon, the world holding its breath right along with me. Mini cliffhanger. My hands hovered over the box, fingertips tingling like static. The tape felt stiff and brittle, as if it had aged along with all the unspoken things between Sam and me. I slid my thumb under the edge, heard the faint crackle of glue giving way, and for a second, I imagined the sound echoing all the way back to that night after graduation, the night everything changed. Inside, nestled in layers of tissue paper, was Sam's old camcorder. The one we'd used for our senior project, covered in faded stickers and a strip of blue painter's tape with our names scrawled in marker. My breath caught. Next to it, a single Polaroid, the two of us sitting on the hood of my car, laughing so hard we looked unrecognizable. There was something else, too, a tightly folded letter, yellowed at the creases. The scent of worn paper and plastic drifted up as I unfolded the note. Sam's handwriting curled across the page, the words were shaky, like they'd been written in a rush. "You said you'd never forget me." I wanted to make sure, it started. The rest of the letter was an apology, but not for losing touch. For never telling me the truth about that night, the night the box vanished. Sam admitted they'd taken it back home after our argument, too afraid I'd open it and see the video inside. A secret, hidden inside a time capsule I'd never meant to bury. I powered on the camcorder, my thumb trembling. The old LCD flickered to life, and there we were, 4 years younger, recording a drunken confessional in the backseat of my Subaru. The audio was fuzzy but clear enough. Sam was talking, about starting over, about how scared they were to leave town, about how much they'd relied on me. Then, suddenly, Sam turned to the camera and said, "I have to tell you something, and I can't say it to your face." There was a pause, a shaky laugh, and then, "I think I'm in love with you. And I don't know what to do about it." My stomach twisted. I remembered the argument that night, how Sam had seemed on edge, how I'd brushed it off as nerves. I'd been so wrapped up in my own plans, my own excitement, that I hadn't noticed the way Sam looked at me. Not really. I set the camcorder down, my heart hammering, and fumbled for my phone. My fingers hovered over Sam's contact. I didn't know what I was going to say, if I should say anything at all. But I hit call before I could talk myself out of it. The line rang once. Twice. Then, Sam's voice, hesitant, older, but still undeniably Sam. "Hello?" "Hey," I said, my voice thin. "I got the box." There was a pause. I could hear Sam exhale, almost like they'd been holding their breath for years. "I wondered if you would," they said quietly. "I watched the video," I said. I could feel the words pressing down, the secret between us suddenly huge and heavy. Why didn't you ever tell me? Sam was silent for a long moment. I heard the faint hum of traffic in the background, a dog barking somewhere far away. I was scared, they said. I thought if I told you, I'd lose you. Then we argued, and it was easier to just pretend none of it happened. I closed my eyes, pressing the phone to my ear. Do you still? I started, but the words stuck. Sam let out a shaky laugh. I don't know. Maybe not in the same way. But I missed you. I just wanted you to know what you meant to me. What you still mean. We talked for a long time. About the past, about the fight, about our separate lives since. It wasn't dramatic or cinematic, just two old friends, finally telling the truth. There were tears, and laughter, and long silences that felt almost comfortable. When we finally hung up, I sat back and looked at the camcorder, at the photo of us on my dashboard. The secret was out. The box was open. And the past didn't feel nearly as heavy as it had just an hour before. What I learned. That secrets weigh more than you think, and letting go, really letting go, means trusting someone enough to let them see you, even the messy, scared parts. I don't know what happens next for Sam and me, but for the first time in years, I feel like the story isn't over. It's just finally honest.